Hello, hello, la la la. It's Friday, August 2nd. It is almost the weekend, and I am that developer dad. You can call me Rob, you can call me that developer dad, whatever. I'm not choosy. Yesterday, we started. I wanted to get a drop down or a set of drop downs into the Blazor application so that we could choose the NPC species, background, their current job, so on and so forth. And I realized that I was starting to dig myself into a fairly complex set of rabbit holes that would be very difficult to get out of. So I backed up and went to PowerPoint. And then after the stream, I went all the way back to pencil and paper, and continued doing like quick iteration on design. I tend to use the opposite side of old printouts. I like to recycle the old-fashioned way. And so while I was doing that, I realized that we've got a handful of views that are going to need view models, that are going to need view model managers and so on, or a view model manager and so on. And it occurred to me, looking at what we had built the other day for the loading component, how we've got this wrapper thingy. It's the weight wrapper. The razor file just defines the visibles. It's a component that inherits from the component base defines all of the stuff that controls the behavior of the visibles. And this .razor file is our view. The weight component, or the weight wrapper component, is the view model. So I'm wondering if we can manage the excuse me, compose our NPC generator page from these components. So let's think this through. I think the first thing I need to do is create a new folder inside Pages. And I'm going to call it partials. And let's add a new class, and I'm going to call it NPC Attribute Preview. No, I'm not. That's way too long and inaccurate. So I'm going to change it to NPC lowercase p, lowercase c, random, no, NPC attributes, view model, yes. And Partials, we're also going to add a razor component called NpcAttributes. Okay. And let's get rid of this. I'm going to change this to selected attributes. Get rid of this code block. And at inherits NpcAttributes viewModel. All right. I think we need a semicolon there. Maybe. Nope. Okay. No semicolon here. What's all this complaining about? Render tree builder, no method found to override. This needs to inherit from component base. And we need to bring in that namespace. Yep, do it. And let's save everything. See if we got rid of our anger code. We did. Okay. So inheriting from component base applies a render model. Good. Now, NPC generator. Let's go to the definition of that NPC generator component. And we're not going to need a weight wrapper yet, I don't think. And viewManager, that can still get injected. And let's see here. Display NPC view model. I think we're going to steal a lot of the stuff off of the NPC view model. Because what we are going to do is rethink the architecture here. So let's add a new slide. And we'll get rid of the boilerplate nonsense. Pop in here. So we have our NpcGenerator.razor. It inherits from its view model. And let's stack these. And we'll make this one a little less dark blue. There we go. So let's edit the text. NpcGen.razor. NpcGenComponent.C#. View. ViewModel. Now it's going to have a reference to a viewModelManager. It's also going to have our NPC attribute preview. Is that what I called it? Yeah. And I want to change the fill on that guy. I change the fill on this to I guess orange. And let's make the text black because that's pretty jarring. So edit text here. This becomes NpcAttributes.razor. And NpcAttrib viewModel is the viewModel for that. And this has a reference to this. And so when we want to generate NPC attributes, excuse me, we're going to pass the NPC attribute viewModel to the viewModelManager. Because, let's grab a text box. Do this. Views get rendered to screen and get their data is managed by their view model. And these guys, this is going to be a page. And so the view model that we've been referring to it is more like a code behind. Taking it back to something that we're familiar with from the olden days. Now the page includes that the view model has one of these. And then when we call generate, we're going to pass this instance of the view model to the viewModelManager. It's going to do its stuff, apply the results of the stuff to the view model, and send it back. viewModelManager does the heavy lifting in terms of calling services, calculations, etc., and applies the results of those operations to a provided view model, which is returned to the color. That's how I want to think about this stuff in terms of composability. I don't want to have to do all the service code type stuff here in the code behind for the page necessarily. I want to keep these code behinds and view models relatively thin from a functional point of view. We want just enough to be able to basically just get and set values for properties that are reflected out to the screen and delegate the actual hard work to a different class. And this is just for our own sanity's sake, I think. Now, I don't want to get too complicated with this because it'll have the opposite result. It'll make it too hard to think about. But I think this is how we're going to be able to compose a functional page out of smaller, easier to think about parts. And that's what we want to do, is we want to always be thinking, how can we decompose something that's complicated into perhaps a thought model that's complex, but only because it consists of a larger number of simple parts. Complex sounds like it's not a terribly desirable thing to have. Complexity always exists. Having a complicated component means it's really hard to reason about as a whole. But having a complex component, you can actually reason about the individual pieces and mash them together in a fairly elegant way to get them to do what you need to do. So for our NPC attributes view, and I want to rename this to display or show. I like show better. View. View is good. I'm going to rename this one to ViewNpcAttributes. And I need to change it here. Rename that symbol to ViewNpcAttributes viewModel. All right. Why is that view? We have to rename that file again because it's goofy to have two views. Come on, there we go. And inherits ViewNpcAttributes viewModel. Save everything. Let's build. Now, our selected attributes. We're going to not think about this stuff. That, as a matter of fact, I'm going to delete it. Goodbye. Get lost. So we're not going to have a name, but we are going to have species, gender, age, height. Just the this.npc dot is all we're gonna have. Nothing with the gen. So let's grab these. Well, no, we should probably add the properties to our view model first. Let's go to this definition, NpcGenerator.component, display NPC viewModelMPC. Yeah, okay. So let's come in here. We'll go to this definition. And we're definitely going to need a Townsperson in our view model. Yeah. But it's going to be a private read-only Townsperson. Bring in the reference, and I'm going to call it _model. Tor, Townsperson, model. Module level model becomes parameter model. Save it. Now, there's our NPC generator component. We can nuke that for now. We don't need it. I'm going to load this guy up into a new vertical document group, hide my sidebar, and scooch to the right. So we're going to need species, public string, species is model.species, public string, gender, model.gender, appearance.gender. String pronouns, and I want that to be a capital P, is model.pronouns, and we don't really need all that extra white space, or in this case, black space. Prop. Not private, but come on, wakey wakey. Public int, age becomes model.age, years, boop. Private, read only, bool, use metric. I'm going to make that a constructor property, but I'm going to give it a default value. Use metric equals false. And by assigning equals false in the parameter list, that means if I don't pass a use metric value, it's just going to assume false. All right, so townsperson, use metric, height and weight, I can just copy as they are. And paste. Use metric. I do have to fold over to use my new things, and it can't see the converters yet, but it can now. Copy, paste, paste, paste. Excuse me. And go away. Save. What else can I pull over? Public string appearance. What do you look like? Ah, yes, yes, yes. We're going to want to use this. Copy. And I'm going to need to grab that model variable name. I'm going to pull this over here so I can see all of the places where it's cursing at me. And with a single monitor for this kind of thing, I'm starting to understand the appeal of top-level statements and file-scoped namespaces and stuff like that, but I'm still not going to bend on it. Now, file scope namespaces, okay, I can come around to that, but there's just something about them that bugs me. If I want my code to look like Python, I'll write Python. Okay, so I've got height, weight. I've got a string representation of appearance. I'm not bringing in any of the AI generated things. Public string history becomes model.background.name. Public string profession becomes model.location.name. We don't have NPC name here because that's generated. What other things here? Text description, that's the old AI generated thing. Description is AI, add AI description, yeah. Okay, so I've got everything out of the display NPC view model that I need. Good. Let's start writing these out to our ViewNpc attributes. And let's make this an H2. H3. Species. At. Species. Because we've inherited, so we can treat these things just like local properties. And let's take a look at what things are looking like over here. I'm going to pop this into a vertical document group. So we've got gender, copy that, paste it, and then we can doctor this up a bit. I think I do want to still use this, but I can get rid of this property traversal because I no longer have that inner NPC property type thing. Age, dimensions. I'm just going to copy that and fix it up. Okay, good. Selected attributes, species, gender, age, at this dot age. Height, okay, good. We'll copy that, bring it over, turn it into an H3. And add a paragraph, this dot appearance herder at this dot appearance. And is it going to give me the goodies? It is. We don't have a personality description at all because that's AI generated. H3, profession, P at this dot profession, H3, history, P at this dot background or history? History. All right. Save. And we can save everything. Now, add a horizontal rule here. And I think I want to yep. Now, I'm going to grab all of this stuff, but then I'm going to do some pretty severe changes to the way it all looks. First off, we're going to get rid of this. That whole thing can go bye-bye. And we're just going to go call 12 all the way across. Making a button. On AI button, click. Generate AI description. Good. I kind of like that. And in our code or in our view model, I'm going to pop over here, public async void. No, public void on AI button click. And instead of calling out to the viewModelManager or the service wrapper here, I'm going to public EventHandler generate AI clicked. Of Townsperson. Okay. So what we're going to do here is when this button is called, we are going to excuse me, generate AI clicked dot invoke with our model. Oh, lol, this and model. So whenever we invoke an event handler like that, we need to specify who's sending it and the EventArgs. And in this case, the type of our event arguments is a Townsperson. And we're just going to pass the model to where it needs to go. And yes, it's complaining that the event handler is needs a non-null value unless it's a nullable event. And with this event handler, by adding this, we need to, on any page or sub or outer component or what have you that uses our ViewNpc attributes, then if it wants to be able to generate AI descriptions and such, it needs to add an event handler or register an event handler with the generate AI clicked. And I'm going to add one more thing here. Public bool AI button is handled, and that's gen AI clicked is not equal to null. And out here, button class show at if this dot AI button is handled, we'll add that div. Otherwise, we're not going to show it. And I know it's only been about 40 minutes, but I do have some things that I need to look after this morning, and they just came up. So I'm going to have to end this early. I'll run longer this afternoon if I'm able to make up for the time, because I do want to get the existing attributes as they're showing factored out to this new, more composable page model here today. And I'm taking Monday off because I need a break and I need to recharge. So Mrs. and I are going out to the coast for a couple of days over the weekend, and we'll be back Monday night. So until this afternoon, take care of yourselves. I'm that developer dad, and we'll see you again soon. Bye now.